So, ladies and gentlemen, I've just pulled Phoebe. I've just pulled her signature. Let's actually get her leveled up before we get her on the battlefield. Hopefully I have enough materials for this. Otherwise, I might end up doing some grinding I really don't want to do. How am I feeling about her voice lines right now? I don't really know. The voice is just definitely not as good as Jennifer English's, but we can't expect that everybody is going to sound as good as Jennifer English. Let's get Peeves to 90. All right, we're there. So, base stats are looking okay. Let's see what we can do for her weapon. We still have a good 1.3 million shell credits. You're lying. How about instead of looking at the depressingly low amount of shell credits we have, we just start putting some stuff on her. So, I think we gotta toss on this bad boy. This is really interesting, the new layout that they've done. This is really interesting, actually. It's saying that this piece is better because it has more glowy lines, so I'll listen to the AI. It really likes that piece. All right, let's put on these ones. And let's just see what our stats are looking like. Okay, we're overcapping. So, if you all aren't aware, this is a Phoebe that is currently overcapped on crit rate. Because when I use any attack, because I'm using the Eternal Radiance set, I'm going to gain 20% crit rate. So it might actually be better for me to use like an echo set, like let's just say it might be better for me to use this thing because I'm not going to be needing that crit rate. Now I'm at 93.4, and let's be honest here, if I'm going to use her with Shorekeeper, I could go even lower, to be honest, because now I'm going to be at 66.25. We're going to add 12.5% from Shorekeeper, go to 79, and then I'll gain 20% crit rate from the set and go to 99%. I will be at 99% crit with Shorekeeper with this build. Phoebe's Forte Circuit is going to be her most important ability overall. So I'm going to max out this thing first because it's kind of like what her character is based around, using this thing. And I'm already broke again. We want that Liberation leveled up as well because it's a big ass nuke. We're broke again. But I think 8, 10, 10 is what I want to go with. Ladies and gentlemen, the Phoebe is ready to go. She's going to be hitting you with about 132% ER, 2,000 attack, a 66.5% crit rate, because I want to use her with Shorekeeper just to try her out, and we'll adjust her echoes later on when we use her with Verena, and 286.2% critical damage. And this is how the cookie crumbles when it comes to her echoes. But the forecast, gonna have a crit damage, crit rate, liberation damage, and ER Ikes. Of course, on the Nightmare set, heavy attack, energy regen, crit damage, skill, and liberation. All damage types that she sort of uses, skill being her worst one, but I like having the liberation. On this one, though, we're going to have liberation damage, crit rate, and attack percentage, so looking very nice there. And then on here, ER, flat attack, crit damage, and attack percentage. You're going to notice I have 66.5%, missing 2 crit rate rolls. That's because her weapon, ladies and gentlemen, gives so much goddamn crit rate, it's ridiculous. You combine that with the set that gives 20%, you're at 56%. Add the baseline crit rate of 5% for every character, and you're at 61% without a single echo substat. So this character is pretty easy to build. So we just covered that piece. Now let's get into the final one. Heavy attack, crit rate, liberation, crit damage, and resonance skill. Resonance skill being the worst one out of the bunch, but it still helps out. And so we're ready to go. We're ready to try her out. Let's get right on into it. So we're going to be pairing her with a Spectral Rover for this testing. He's going to be on Moonlit Clouds and, you know, a pretty decent ratio overall. Emerald to Genesis 2. And we're also going to be using this with a Shorekeeper who's going to be on R5 variation and just have, you know, pretty regular stats. And so now, let's give her a try, ladies and gentlemen. I'm very excited. Let's see what she can do. So we're just going to open up by using her skill. And then just go back to Shorekeeper.
Swift and resolute. The hour is upon us.
And now, we're going to enter Absolution. And then use her liberation at the end. Use her echo skill, and that's going to be the rotation. So overall, looking pretty decently strong. We've got a shit ton of Spectral Frazzle stack still.
One with the sounds.
Astral modulation.
And she gives the enemy a nice little bonk, right?
The end has come.
Go Rover. Boom. And then we're going to be ready on Phoebe again. So basically, when she does like that whole like little rain from the sky, that's how you know that your heavy attack is ready. And we're just going to end it early with her liberation. Massive hit. And that's going to do it. That's going to do it for us on that floor, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, she is a pretty interesting looking character. She has a pretty simple to learn playstyle as well. You E in, you either walk into the ring or teleport into there. You attack 3 times, then heavy attack. You attack 3 times, then heavy attack. And you do that as many times as you want before casting your liberation. You can do that 4 times max. And I would say, hey, she seems pretty okay to use. So let's go ahead and let's give her a try now with that same exact team comp, except against the other side. So just open up with another CC.
Stay calm.
No hesitation.
Iron graft.
And now we're just gonna go back onto Rover.
Loading.
Moment of resonance. Strike one with the sounds.
Sentinel protects me. Together we stand. Purify. Dark forces approach. Be on guard. Bluebird, be my salvation.
Okay.
Path is arduous.
And now we got all those off. Unfortunately, we did take a while on that rotation, so we kind of messed that rotation up. It did take us a while, unfortunately, to kind of get off all of her heavy attacks. Bit of a learning curve with the character, just to make sure that you're landing all your stuff, but you'll get there eventually, right?
Sentinel protects me. Judgment comes. Purify. Crystals, give me strength. Together we stand. Purify. In the name of
That rotation was a little bit better.
Iron graft renew.
Swift and resolute. The hour is upon us. I sense your weakness. One with the sound.
Sentinel protects me. Answer me.
Okay. Gonna use that again.
Path is arduous.
And we blow him up. So the main thing over here that I'm messing up, and you might have noticed me mess that up across the clear, I forgot to refresh my absolution state and regain my divine voice at the start of my second rotation. And so just make sure to keep that in mind. You're gonna have to heavy attack at the start of your rotation to actually use this character as a main DPS, and you hold the resonance skill instead if you're trying to use her as a sub DPS. Phoebe, in her current state, obviously this bonus that we're seeing over here for Spectral Frazzle is ridiculous, but her damage is looking pretty solid. Her damage is looking pretty good, and we're gonna do one final test. We're gonna do one final test actually in this tower, where we don't have massive Spectral Frazzle buffs, to see just how strong she is.
Astral modulation.
All right, we're just like kind of quick swapping between the two characters
Moment of resonance.
to make sure that when Rover comes in, you can just boom,
Sentinel protects me. Crystals, give me
and we're just going to
Path arduous. Together we stand.
And that's a baseline rotation. And as you can see, that's doing an okay amount of damage.
Strike from the shadows.
In war with time. Loading.
Swift and resolute. The end has come. One with the sounds.
Sentinel protects me. Answer me.
And I'm just chaining together those heavy attacks.
Oh, careful now. Together we stand. Oh,
And
from the heart.
we're doing a decent amount.
I sense your weakness.
Maybe there's something I'm doing with the rotation, but this isn't really a team where I'm doing like a shit ton more damage than other characters.
The hour is
We're gonna finish it here. Yeah, we're not doing a relative like shit ton more damage relative to other characters. It feels like the way that we're doing damage though is a bit different. And Spectre Rover, let's be honest, ladies and gentlemen, they're not that great of a support. They don't have any amplifying damage effects. They're okay. But that's gonna be the initial Phoebe testing for now. I thought that she is a pretty fun character to play. Interacts with dodge counters, has like a sort of like a quota she has to meet in her kit to work. And I think that a lot of newer players especially are going to get a lot of mileage out of her. But she does have a little bit of clunkiness if you do forget to switch between her modes or reactivate her mode. And you have to consume all of her divine voice, you know, that second forte bar that shows up basically, to actually allow that to happen. So I would say for now, solid pick. If you have Jinsei, maybe not the most solid pick because you already have a spectral damage dealer. But if you like Rover, you like using them, go for it. I don't think it can be that bad.